Hey guys, welcome back. A little hair in my mouth to my YouTube channel. We're doing more Q&As today. I hope that it is an enjoyable episode for you. And like always, I have notifications going off in the middle of recording. Why do I do that? All right. I keep getting just amazing questions through the YouTube channel, so I'm just gonna keep answering them. I think you guys like these anyway. So if you have a question you want to submit to the show, danny@thehasociety.com is the place to email them to, or just comment on a video below. I get notifications about comments, and then I also answer them in the order that they come in. So let's dive in. I have a question here from Emily. It's titled HA Recovery and Food Sensitivity and Intolerance. Let's dive in. Good morning, my name is Emily and I have been listening to your podcast over the past few months. Thank you for all you do. You're welcome. I have been able to find great resources and am benefiting from the practical advice as well as encouragement provided. A little bit about me. I began struggling with an ED at age 17. I had struggled with insecurity for several years, but my senior year of high school, I stepped on the scale and saw my weight had reached a number higher than ever before. And that's when something in me snapped. I began restricting with food with the ultimate goal being as thin as possible, whatever the cost. I had always been a small girl. My peak weight was 110 pounds, but after restricting for a few months, I dropped to 102 pounds. Hoping to lose even more, I joined the track team, which resulted in the exact opposite. That happens. I had to up my intake in order to keep up with the practices which were brutal, and I ended up putting on several pounds in muscle. Even though I didn't like this, I was committed and didn't quit. I left for college and was having so much fun, I abandoned my restrictive eating habits and without track exercise as well. Over the next 2 years, I gained about 10 to 15 pounds and was extremely insecure. I remember less physical restraint, but constantly beating myself up mentally for giving in to desserts and junk food. I felt very unhappy with my appearance, but being a broke college student, didn't know how to fix this. But I always imagined once I got out of school and could afford a different lifestyle, things would change. Well, they did change. After college, not only could I afford a healthier diet, but also went through a breakup. The grieving period caused me to lose a few pounds. And over time, I began exercising more regularly, perhaps trying to gain something back for myself after the breakup, and this is where my period started to become irregular. My ED began in the fall of 2014. I did not start having irregular menses beyond 35 to 40 day cycles, which I've always had, until fall of 2019. Sorry, I gotta stretch and fold my bread. Okay. Eventually, I stopped completely, and I don't even remember how long. It stopped completely. I don't remember how long. In January 2022, I got on the birth control pill as recommended by my doctor. I did this for 11 months and had a, quote, cycle almost every month. In January 2023, I stopped because I wanted to see what my body could do without hormones. Long story short, I experienced healing and made positive progress. Weight-wise, I have gone from around 97 pounds at my lowest to 102 pounds. I had a period in February, March, and April, then none until June, then none until September, so it's been tapering again. I know I have progress still to make and very much want to get a regular cycle, not only for my own health, but because I'm about to get married and we definitely want children someday. I could talk much more about my journey and struggles, but I wanted to reach out about one specific question that I haven't yet heard addressed on your podcast, but have been wondering about. Ooh. I have had GI issues my whole life, from infancy, constipation, pain, gas, and bloating. Growing up, I had no identified food allergies or sensitivities, but had chronic symptoms. Once I got to college, I began to experiment with milk alternatives, and after several years, figured out dairy aggravated my symptoms. Today, I am almost entirely dairy-free, apart from the consumption of Greek yogurt and lactose-free milk. Anything else is rare and taken with lactic acid, with a lactate tablet. I I have tried the elimination diet known as low FODMAP and have determined more food sensitivities through this, such as beans, Brussels sprouts, peas, apples, garlic, onion, etc. My question for you is, for someone like me with food sensitivities, what advice do you have on how to navigate healing and food freedom? I know there will always be things I can substitute to still get the nutrition I need, but I feel this is a constant mental battle. I want to be able to embrace food freedom, but that is easier said than done when so many things upset my stomach. Sometimes during a bad flare, I feel frustrated to the point of not wanting to eat at all, but I know I can never do that again. I still feel afraid of food sometimes, but at this point in my life, the lines get blurred sometimes between fear of food that will help me physically and the fear of the food that will make me fat. Okay, we actually have addressed this, a couple times, and we have a lot of episodes, so I'm sure it's just lost in there. And I'm pretty sure it's like an episode with Ashley and I on it, maybe even Mishi. But we'll always say, what you said here, right? Like, there's plenty of foods that you can eat. So what it sounds like here is, physically how to eat enough. What you're trying to do is determine the difference between my reasons and my intentions behind what I'm doing and eating. Will this actually hurt my stomach, or will this make me quote unquote fat? Firm believers over here that the brain knows your intentions. I mean, your brain is the one making the intentions. So if not eating food is coming from a place of restriction, we really do see this be harder for people to recover. They might be eating the calories, but they're gonna be still having some problems. Maybe they'll get a period, but it will be anovulatory. Maybe they won't get a period and we're scratching our head. And that's when we have to end up doing that deep work to understand, why are you eating the foods you're eating? And are your intentions all there? Are you healed, or are you just eating enough? And it is hard for you because you have to think about not just recovery, but also digestive issues. And we see that all the time. Lots of people who have specific things, and you can do it. I have a recommendation for you. Unfortunately, I don't think I can just give you the answer right now, aside from there's work you can do to unpack that and truly learn about yourself and where your intentions come from. And that takes sitting down and doing work and doing specific exercises. You need to really dive deep into each and every one of your food rules and restrictions, pick them apart and determine why you're doing them and why you're not. So we actually have a course. It's called the Restore Program. We do a live version and a DIY version. They're both the same. One is just live with us. You meet with us. There is a one-on-one and group coaching aspect of it. And the DIY is you do it entirely on your own, self-paced. But the course content itself is the same, and both come with access to the HA Society, so you can chat with me or chat with other people in the group and get support. But what that course is kind of designed for someone just like you, to take you through, here's what we need to be doing nutritionally, movement-wise, yada yada. Cool. That's in there. The science, the understanding about what's happening in your body, why food is important, yada yada. But we also take you through specific audit practices that go through all of your food rules, diet rules and restrictions, and we figure out and understand where each one is coming from. Is it still valid? Is its concern helpful? Is it a helpful rule? We move past it. What might be valuable for you is just really sitting down, going through this practice and looking at it face to face so that you're comfortable and confident in why you're making the choices you're making. Maybe along the way, you'll find some things that you can change, that you are holding on only due to fear. But for the most part, we just want to discover which rules are which, who's what, who's helping, who's not. And I think that practice, along with all the other aspects of the course where we take you through food reviews, we go through exercise and ideal fundamental programming, and just all of the beyond the basics, basically, of what you need to know for recovery and trying to create a really individualized approach for you. So you're not just like listening to this information and trying to apply it to yourself. We're taking you through the information and helping you apply it to yourself. And I think that's something that you might need. So that's the hasociety.com/restore, I think, but I'll check that. And I'll put it in the show notes too. And then, yeah, we do a live version of the program a couple times a year, so you can check that out as well. But the DIY version is always available, and that's /restore. So I hope that this was helpful. And, you know, if you have any follow-up questions, feel free to respond to the email and let me know. And let's do like one more quick one. Hi, could you make a video about experiencing cramps and breast tenderness during HA recovery? What could it possibly mean? Thanks a lot for all your support. This question is from BC on YouTube. So answer, especially breast tenderness is very exciting. Almost always, someone who's never experienced breast tenderness who suddenly starts feeling it, we can tie with the fact that they've ovulated. Periods generally come after a lot of breast tenderness. That said, a lot of people feel it slowly increase over a long period of time in recovery, and that's also possible. At the end of the day, hormones, estrogen and progesterone are doing some things that are causing that to happen. And if you go from 0 hormonal function, you're not going to feel anything. And when those start to rise and fluctuate and come out of a dormant state, it's not uncommon to feel something. So I guarantee that your breast tenderness is due to hormonal activity. Something different is happening, and that is positive no matter what, whether you do ovulate or not. That's exciting. Long term, you don't want to always be experiencing breast tenderness. It can be a PMS symptom, but early on in recovery, we're always celebrating. And then same with cramps. Look, cramps are hard because they're just ever so more subjective to the person. What might be a cramp to me might not be a cramp to you. It's kind of hard to tell, but again, I never poo-poo it as something not valuable. You've had HA for a long ass time and you've been paying attention to your body. And if you're noticing different sensations, especially in the uterus area, like for me, I know I'm ovulating. There's a little twitch of the ovary. And I'm curious, anyone listening, if you have a cramp or something that you can identify is definitely related to your ovulation or something like that, put it in the comments below. I think it's helpful for people to know the different things. And my period pain and as well labor when I had my baby was all in my back. So I get a lower back ache when I have my menstrual cycle. So yeah, things like that. Oftentimes too, you might not connect it to being your cycle. You might be like, my back hurts. I must have done something. And it might be a period cramp. And then same with the front, you might be like, I must have eaten something. I have a sharp pain, but it might be a cramp. I can, if I'm not really looking after myself, my period can be it can really make me quite nauseous for about half a day. I feel pretty bad. So you'll know. Unexplained nausea, crampiness in this abdomen, like uterus, lower back area, I think is a pretty positive sign of hormonal activity. But you know, it's a tough one because maybe you also did actually just like hurt your back, or maybe you did eat something a bit weird. So it's really hard to say for an individual person because you feel a lot of things in that area of your body for a lot of different reasons. But I hope this was encouraging, and just like trust that you know your body. And if you do make a mistake and you did think that it was something that it wasn't, you learn from it. It's okay. When you haven't had a cycle in a long time, you are learning everything from the beginning. You don't know what you're looking at when it comes to cervical mucus. You don't know what a cramp is. You don't know how much you're meant to bleed. Nothing. These are all questions that I get every time someone has their first period. And after the second one, the third one, and definitely on the fourth one, you've got a rhythm and you know what you're looking for. So just expect new things. Analyze them. Don't overanalyze them. watch for patterns and make connections as you go. But don't try to understand what the body is doing right now, because it's impossible. Okay guys, I hope that this was a helpful video. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have a question, again, please send it to danny@theajsociety.com. Please like and subscribe to this channel. I answer questions every week. If I'm answering yours, you're not going to want to miss it. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.